Hey everybody, welcome back to Champ and Sons and our Let's Play Planet Coaster Austin Adventure Park series. And we have got the beginnings of a new section, which, you've guessed it, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to bring in a new roller coaster for us. And this is one of my personal favorites, which is going to be a inverted coaster, right? And one thing I love about inverted coasters is the way that it has all the interaction with path work and the way they sound. Most B&Ms sound that way, have that unique sound to them. Anytime you go by it on a theme park, you know it from the second you hear it. But these, I just really love how they do sound and what you're able to actually do with them. They have their standard layouts with loops, inversion rolls, zero G rolls, and all that. But I like how you get the opportunity to do multiple things with it, and that little, I guess, bat wing curve. I love that piece. I don't know what it is. I had to put that in there, and we're gonna have some pathing go right next to it to allow people to get a brilliant view of this roller coaster as it goes. So the layout, it is obviously a little bit more traditional, out and back essentially, with another little turnaround and kind of a push around. And here I am trying to make my own little inverted roll, and it's really not that good. I'm not gonna lie to you, but hey, it's one of those things where I like to say it is what it is. We do make some changes to this layout and how everything is faced for the most part. And we get a lot of pathing work built in. You're going to see a little quick POV as we kind of run through it. And yeah, it looks shaky at the time. My game was doing, I think it caught in the middle of an autosave type of setup. And we do have the park open, and you can see we got about 1,000 guests. Actually, I think right now, for the most part, I've closed it to try to get guests cleared out so I can get the view to run a little bit smoother. And this roller coaster ideally will be obviously it's going to be the primary attraction for this section. I don't know what I want it called yet. I just don't. So I will say, put down in the comments what you think this thing should be called, and what kind of name would you give it. And let's see what we can do. I will tell you, it is in more of a, I don't want to say medieval theme, but definitely with castles and stuff, that kind of theme element, that type of themed area. So here we are. I told you I make changes. Yeah, I delete the whole thing. Okay. I kind of liked how it was going. I just didn't. It's one of those things I didn't love, and so I could either try to fix it piece by piece or just start over. Like I said, I want a lot of path interaction. So as I'm building this, I know I don't have the path work put in right now. You'll see some of that path work later. And then you'll see the completed section during the walkthrough. But I have an idea of where I want that path work to go. And so it needs to have a lot of open space next to it, a lot of availability to put pathing work. Maybe not rides, but at least some decorations right next to it to give people something to look at and something to see. Okay, so this is a big time ride for us. It is going to be one of our main attractions. And I really like how it turns out. And you'll kind of see, we'll do a POV ride here at the end of the video. You'll see me get this thing built up, and then we'll start actually building the station work on it. And at that point, that's where you'll kind of see how the pathing work is laid out a little bit. You'll get an idea of where we put in some of our flat rides here in this section. I wanted everything to flow together, basically. And I think it really does turn out that way. I really do. And so I definitely did enjoy making this ride and this whole segment. But these are kind of difficult, and I don't like that it goes the way it is with it kind of going right over. I don't mind it safety-wise. I know for guests, that would be a pretty big deal, right? It just would. So I do want to try to keep that in mind and have some sense of realism about it. And so that's kind of, we'll see how we approach that a little bit later. Now, this is a queue line for it. This is a massive queue line. Don't get me wrong, right? I enjoy a good queue line, but that one was massive. And here we are going right up next to that bat wing, connecting it over to the main portion. And then we start building it into the rest of the area. And so that's what I mean when I say you see how the pathing work is laid out. You can kind of take a guess of where we will have our flat rides in. And what we're kind of going to be looking at doing here. And so a lot of this, what you're seeing is going to be filling in the pathing work, right? It's filling in a lot of these blank spaces. I have the entrance line. We don't have the queue built yet, but I know what we want to do with it as far as, like I say, the castle-y medieval type theme, if that's what you want to call it. But I also want to keep open space available, one for plants, which provides shading, and I think just looks better. As much concrete as theme parks have in them, and as a theme park in Austin would definitely have, you're still going to have a lot of trees and a lot of nature work around it. Plants put in the middle to kind of dress everything up. So I really do like how this thing turns out. I would definitely say stay tuned here. I'm going to drop off for a second while y'all continue to kind of see how we lay out the rest of this area and how we kind of get all the pathing work done and some more of the structures going on around the entrance building to the roller coaster and all that. So definitely stay tuned for that, and I will join y'all back here in no time really. So keep that in mind. I will check in on y'all later. So I am back, and thank you all for staying and enjoying this build here. And this is what I mean by with the Q work. While we're maintaining kind of the castle vibe with the walls and definitely the, I guess, stone tile work on the floor path covering. And these buildings, while you may say, "Whoa, well, that's not very castle-y," it's definitely got a wooden structure to it overall. Mainly because to try to do something like legit castle type would be an immensely massive expense, and so doing it this way would actually end up being cheaper for us. And so that was kind of the main theory behind it. We wanted to make sure to get everything kind of, at least a good chunk of it covered. We know not everything will be, but we wanted a good chunk of it all to be covered, since definitely here in Austin you have a lot of the heat, a lot of sunlight blasting through. So we're just putting up some of the final structural touches here to our Q covers, is what I'll call it, the Q cover. And like I said, I really like how this thing turned out, and everything in this whole section is pretty well cohesive with each other. So it all turns out pretty dang good. I definitely like how we have the path covers, the way those do look. I'm not too fancy or too happy with the asphalt path, so I will have to take a look at that. And I can admit to you, I do change it. I'm just not sure if I change it on camera. So we will see about that. And I don't think I get that on camera. The POV ride, it will be before the station is built and all that. So like I said, everything with all the detail work and will be shown in the park tour, which will be the last episode, and we are getting kind of close to it. I got one more episode already recorded, and I'm working on the next one as we speak. So we're looking at least 2 more episodes before we hit the park tour. But definitely stay tuned to see how this park finishes up. I think it turns out really well. Definitely better than our last one that we did, and I really enjoy how everything does turn out here with this one. So we're doing the final touches, the final detailing work to try to, like I say, cover up the asphalt and just make things look good, make it look like it would fit in the area during the time frame without going too much, too excessive on it. Because really, a park in Austin would not be a Disney park-esque type one. It's going to be, I'm not going to say low budget, obviously. Anybody that knows Austin is anything but low budget. But I can definitely say I do think that cost would have its role here in building a park here in Austin. And so that is one thing I do want to keep in mind kind of moving forward with this park, and even in all the detailing work that we do and that we put in. So some of the final touches to give us a little bit of shading over the ride section, but we can't have everything inside. We do keep a lot of stuff open, so we add some supports to it, and then in the middle, basically skylight section, we kind of fill that in with some other woodwork. And we are actually about to get to the POV of the ride here in just about 10 seconds. So with that in mind, I do want to remind y'all to hit the subscribe button if you have not hit it already. And if you did like today's video, you like B&M Inverts, or you just like Planet Coaster, give us a thumbs up, as we really does help out the channel, and we greatly appreciate everything that y'all do for us here at Champ & Sons Gaming. So go ahead, please, like I say, enjoy the POV ride. I will see y'all in the next episode and in our next section. So with that in mind, everybody, as we get to the top of this hill, once again, thank you for joining us. I will see y'all later. So as always, stay safe. And well, y'all know how it goes by now, right? Later, y'all.